Politically, the correct term is like formerly incarcerated individual or returning citizen. I get backlash when I say ex-convict. My name is Coss Marte. I'm the CEO and founder of ComBody and also ComBud. I served a total of 6 years in prison for running one of the largest drug delivery services in New York City, and I'm a returning citizen. 3 words that describe me, I would say hopeful, inspiring, grit. 3 words that described me back then, I would say hungry, motivated, cold-hearted. I grew up in the Lower East Side of New York City in the 80s and 90s. Drugs everywhere, gangs. That's the community I grew up in. Every 10 steps you're taking, it's a heroin needle on the ground. The homeless population was bad, drugs, and poverty. It's a different neighborhood now. It's a gentrified, poodle walking, art gallery neighborhood and coffee shops all over the place. My dad worked a lot. My mom worked a lot. My sisters immigrated from the Dominican Republic when I was about 5 or 6. So I didn't even know I had sisters until I was 5 or 6. It was just like my brother and I. In the beginning, it was just myself. And then my brother came 4 years later. You know, when they came, they thought they could like watch over me, but I was out of control. And I was raised by the neighborhood. Most of the time I was left in the park and, you know, somebody in the neighborhood was watching me. Sometimes I was left, you know, with a couple of my cousins who were drug dealers on the corner. I started messing around with drugs at 11, and at 13 was when I first really started dealing. You know, I had a couple friends, maybe like 5 friends giving me $1 each. And then I'm going up to my cousin in the corner to buy a nickel bag. And I'm like being the middleman, you know, running back and forth and going to school. People used to call me Smokey the Bear because I was like always high and going to class. And, you know, I started dealing cocaine and crack at a very early age. Once I got locked up at 15, I learned how to cook crack around that time. These are people that I grew up with. They might have looked intimidating to, you know, the public at the time, the way they dressed, the way they talked, the way they, you know, they acted, but they knew me, you know, since I was a baby. People that I knew, they saw me in diapers. One of my cousins at the same age as me was sniffing at 11. That was reality back then. My mom mostly was concerned. My dad, I don't know, he was realistic and been on the streets and seen his best friend being deported. But my mom was devastated when she found out I was dealing weed. You know, at 13, I got arrested. I got home and she was so disappointed and sad. And I've been arrested 9 times. I was absolutely scared the first time I went in, especially when I served a year from 15 to 16. It was gladiator school. So I got into a lot of fights. I fought every day. When I was like 18, 19, we were selling about 1 kilo a week. And that consistently happened. And so we changed the way we marketed to people. We were not dealing to people in the neighborhood. We were marketing to people on Wall Street. We started wearing business suits, ties. We made business cards. This is just me and one of my best friends. And we became business partners. And we were generating about $5 million in revenue and profiting like $2 million each. It became a whole delivery service. Our business was so lucrative that there was no real competition. Everybody was just standing on the corner. My friend and I, we were just living out of a car because the phones never stopped ringing. And so we were operating a 24-hour delivery service all day, all night. That was our life for a couple years until we built a whole team. We had over 20 drivers, dispatchers at one point, and we had different shifts. And so it became an actual business at one point. I got married while I was incarcerated, but I had my son, you know, I dated my ex-wife at that time, and we were together for a few years. So at 19, I felt like I was unstoppable. Nothing could stop me. I had so much money and just spending and splurging, buying. At one point, I had over 500 pairs of Jordan sneakers. So towards the end of my incarceration, I was locked up at 23, sentenced to 7 years in prison, and I was about to be released on an early release program. I had 2 months left and I got into altercation with an officer. This officer basically started searching me very aggressively, and I like moved my body as I was being searched, and as I moved my body, he punched me behind my head, knocked me out, and I got up and turned around on the officer, and a half a dozen officers come to the scene, and they beat me down, they cuffed me, they throw me into solitary confinement. You know, with 2 months left, I was devastated. Now I'm facing 3 more years in the system. My son thought I was coming home already. It was devastating. I had a spiritual awakening while I was incarcerated for my last stint. I need to change, can't live this lifestyle. I felt like so much regret for all the wrongdoings that I've done in my life. I didn't want to continue living that lifestyle. I've seen people overdose, and I wanted to get back to society in a certain more positive way. And I started thinking and reflecting while I was in solitary confinement. I had a situation happen to me where I basically read the Bible from front to back and just started really thinking about what I really wanted to do in life. So I was already helping inmates get fit, work out in the yard. I've already lost over 70 pounds in 6 months. And I was like, hey, I'm already helping the people out here work out, get fit. This is what I want to do. And so that became an idea that I had, and Combody was born in that prison cell. And so I started writing out my whole mini business plan. After that situation, I was just like, I'm never going back. Being away from my son at that time was like the most painful thing. I was tempted. None of those temptations even crossed my mind to even go back. I'd rather be out here, living in the streets and being homeless than ever going back in there and being away from my family. Rich doesn't equal happiness. I mean, I had a I had a lot of fun times. I felt content, but I was not happy. I feel like I'm way happier now than ever. I feel like everything that I got, makes me wealthier today. So my new life today, I have a newborn daughter. She's 4 months. I have a beautiful wife. I have a nice place, and I have a business that employs people that have been incarcerated. I've been able to hire over 50 people coming out of the prison system, and this is Bud and Combody. We only use your body weight, no equipment, small constrained space, just like I did in my prison cell. And what we do is hire people coming out of the prison system to teach fitness classes. We've trained over 70,000 people today. I've absolutely found happiness. Yeah, there's always situations that occur that, that's sad times, bad times. But overall, I feel super, super happy where I'm at right now. My family and my parents are extremely happy, with all of us, with my brother winning the city council election and with what I'm doing today, and giving people a second chance. My mom was like my first customer coming home. She worked out with me every morning. When I came home, my brothers and sisters didn't think I was gonna stay home. I told them I'm staying home. They didn't believe me, but I proved it to them. Today I've been home 9 years now. There's other ways, just open up your eyes. Just get out of those four corners that you're growing up in. If you feel like there's no hope, there is something out there, and it's gonna be hard. You're gonna fail a gazillion times, but that's all it takes, and you will succeed. I feel like I want to share my story as much as possible, just to give more hope and inspiration and to people that have been in the same situation, and also give people an opportunity or avenue, that I could provide. When I came home, it was extremely difficult to readapt back into society. Nobody wanted to hire me. I couldn't find any type of location. It was hard. I had to face a lot of barriers, but I'm making it easier for people, reintegrating back to society. And so if anybody here is listening or coming home from prison, or anybody that wants to help, I have certain ways that they could help, just contact us and we'll give them information.